That's N, which could also be D. I'm worried that the exhaust's going to drop. I had no idea. Yeah, she's not the happiest at all. So yeah, guys, quick look around the exterior. Should have done that before I started the engine. Anyway, I'm not going to turn it off, it might not start again. Yeah, so we've got an exhaust blow which is drowning everything out, but yeah, the hood. Come on, you. Looks nice though, doesn't it? Sounds like but looks fantastic. Okay, if that's how you want to be. Just noticed there's a dent on the bonnet. Yeah, see, I've only just noticed that dent. I've literally got, there's a few dents. Yeah, I think it's had a respray. To be honest, yeah, it's been resprayed. It's literally, guys, you're with me on the first proper check over of the car. I've literally just bought it, washed it, and now we're here. I haven't been underneath it. Apart from when I went to view it, I've had a quick look, but nothing else. I've got no idea, so we'll get started now, and we'll see what it needs. So if there was ever any doubt, they've even sprayed over the washer jets. They didn't even take them out. Obviously they should be black plastic, and you can see someone's sprayed over them. It was probably all lacquer peeled and horrible, so they've gone over it. I'm just hoping the whole car hasn't had. Now all this is, that's not good. Look in there. Look there. Oh no, the whole car's been resprayed. I had no idea. I didn't even see that. Guys, you saw how dirty it was. Maybe that's as well why I left it so dirty. This is how it looks when I respray things. They've used masking tape, gone around it, and then just sprayed around it without even removing that. Like, they've not removed anything, they've just sprayed over it. You can see silver on there, and it just, you know, it's making me question the whole thing. She's not running very well at all. She's not very happy. It's not good. Somehow the clamp has managed just to disappear. I'm worried that the exhaust's going to drop. Yeah, that's overfull, which is great. And the brakes are terrible as well, like really, really bad. So we need to see what's going on there. We need a water pump, obviously, because it is seeping from there. So we'll get onto that. Yeah, but coolant, we're going to address that because of our cooling issue. It was obviously overheating originally, so the owner left it, and yeah, we ran it up the other day and it got hot, so I've deleted the thermostat and now it's fine. In the first video on this thing I said that when I put it into D I had no drive, but in 2 it was fine. But what it is, there's just loads of slop. That's R, that's N, which could also be D. So I thought I was in D, but I was actually in N because of how loose it is. So 2 is actually D. That's 2. And that's 1. Just really, really loose. So let's have a look underneath. So we've got the back of the gearbox here, the prop shaft here. This is the gear selector mechanism. Not good at all. Oh, and guys, something else that you've probably been wondering about, before I forget. The dash fault. No lights, just the seatbelt warning light. I've jumped online, I had a quick look, and the problem appears to be bad solder joints on the board itself. So we'll take the cluster out at some point, and then we'll check the joints, and we'll see if we can just solder them up, and hopefully that will fix it. Same story again. Absolutely bollocked up. Oh, man. Why do they do it? Gosh. That one's totally chewed up. I can't take the wheel off. I managed it in the end, just about. Been really careful with it. So yeah, first thing I normally do is give it a spin and see if there's any brake bind or anything like that. This spins freely. Spin it a bit quicker. We've got a problem here. But there's no, if I push and pull, trying to grab the wheel and pull it and push it, and there's no play there whatsoever. But yeah, that noise is a little bit concerning, isn't it? So I'm at the back of the car now, and I might have found why the brakes aren't really doing anything, because it looks like they really aren't doing anything, quite literally. This ring here, this silvery, very thin ring, is actually where the pads are effectively rubbing against the disc and braking and actually doing something. That ring is where you've got some actual friction. The rest of it, you can see not really much is happening. Look at that. Peel off a layer of skin and there's still a solid layer there, like nothing ever happened. 200 series, eat your heart out. If this was a 240, all this would have been, that would just be completely gone. As soon as it started to rust there, I would have poked that with a screwdriver, hole, 100% guaranteed. Where all this has been rusting away in here. Look, galvanised body, guys, look at that. It's started to go under there. It's been going on for a while, let's face it. And that's as far as it's gone, and it's just a little bit of surface. That's 900 series for you. We bring in the good stuff. Miss Involvo'd actually spotted this when we were washing it. She said, I think water's getting inside. This was before we couldn't start it, before we had any issues, before I found water inside. But you can see there where it's going a bit weird. And I was pushing earlier on this corner and you could see the water inside moving behind the glass. So it's getting in there. But like I say, I would have jet washed this. I've come along the wing like this, jet washing down, and then forced water up in behind the windscreen. I think that's what's happened. So the water's been pushed into here, built up in here, and then gone into the car. I'm just going to change the stat first because I want to see how it behaves. I'm not going to get too carried away with the cooling system. I want to know first if with a new cap and a new stat, is it okay? If not, then we'll move on to other things. So this is just literally a test, really. So we'll chuck the seal on. The jiggle pin in the thermostat. This little piece here. I foolishly didn't know that that should be at 12 o'clock. Seems obvious now, like when someone told me about it, they commented on one of the videos. And I mean, what an obvious thing when you think about it. But yeah, I've got to be honest, I just didn't know about that. So yeah, if you have this jiggle pin at the highest point, it allows all the air to get out the system. And the reason why there's a pin in there is so that dirt and debris can't block that hole. Because this always jiggles, dirt can't fix to it and can't plug that hole. It will always stay clear because the pin stops anything from sticking to it. It's quite a clever bit of kit, really, isn't it? Yeah, thermostat's going to sit like that, so it wants to be about there. Pop that in, slide it on. Happy days. So far so good. Got nice hot air out the vents. This hose is hot. Really nice and hot. Bottom hose is warm. That's what we want, isn't it? Perfect. It wasn't doing that before. She's not happy, is she? Seems almost like an air leak perhaps, or a bad sensor. Yeah, so we're going to have to diagnose all this. What we could have is either a split line. We could have a split vacuum line somewhere, so it's allowing air in, so it's making it hunt. Could also be a bad sensor. Could be a bad MAF. Could be a bad idle air control valve. We just need to go through it piece by piece. Guys, every single old Volvo that I've had has had an issue with the fuel pressure regulator. So I'm going to turn it off before it leaks fuel and just catches fire. Guys, every time. Different symptoms each time as well, just to make it interesting. Each time it has been the fuel pressure regulator. Every time it's behaved in a slightly different way. So somewhere in here, in this mess of 240 parts, I've got an inlet manifold. And on said inlet manifold is a fuel pressure regulator. But yeah, 210 mils there, fuel hose on the back, and away. She's idling a little bit high, but there would have been loads of extra fuel in the manifold and in the cylinders from where it was running so rich. So there we go, guys, another red block, another fuel pressure regulator. It's always worth just pulling off that hose and just make sure it's dry, and if this fuel comes out, you know that's your issue, 100%. Couple of days later, I'd driven the car a couple of times, no issues at all, she's running absolutely great. Now we actually went to pick up a table. We got there, we got the table, we slid it in the back, got in the car, I turned the ignition on, dash lights, so yeah, you tell me. Obviously she was happy to be back doing what she does best and lugging things around. There's a lot of space back there.
We've got a clamp on, but the exhaust, the cat is blowing.
Yeah, still a blow, but at least the exhaust is fixed to the car now, so it's not just going to drop off. That's the main thing, isn't it? Maybe we can get a little patch put on that cat. But yeah, guys, she's running totally great. No issues with the cooling system. not really any pressure. It's hot. I've just literally got back, so there's a little bit of pressure in there. I've just been using the car, but yeah, no issues at all. Looks good. Petrol.